Happy Labor Day, everybody. Was planning on doing some hiking today and enjoying the outdoors, but that didn't happen. You can see what's going on here. So, figured I'd give you guys a little update, putting this $100 5.3 back together. And it's also National Beer Drinkers Day. I am not an alcoholic by any means. I just I like a good. Today, mine just happens to be a certain Irish Stout. No names, but I'm sure you can figure out what I'm drinking. Some oil, used head bolts waiting in wing for reinstallation. You can use used head bolts. You can't follow the torque to yield specification. These bolts are usually good for 2 or 3 times afterwards. You don't need to throw them out. I'd like to torque them to 65 foot-pounds and call it a day. Multi-layer head gaskets in place already. Make sure the holes are cleaned up before you do anything. These are blind holes. If they get jammed up, don't fight them, back them out, work them in and out like a tap. No, I'm not torquing them with an impact. I'm not that much of a hack. That's torqued down. So for the most part I got the motor back together. The only issue I've got is spinning it over. It doesn't seem to have any compression and the intake valves seem to be leaking, which tells me one of two things. The push rod length is incorrect. But why is the push rod length incorrect? These are the push rods that came out of this motor. The other thing is the head gaskets I used. So check your head gasket thickness, that'll throw it off. So I'm going to have to either shim the rockers or get different length push rods, which I really don't plan on doing. But just kind of funny on one side. It barely had any compression. I put a spark plug in the hole. You know, I like to spin it over and you could feel the resistance. Like, barely has anything. You know, on the driver's side bank, I'm spinning it over with a plug in, and I'm like, it barely has anything either on this side either. And then you hear the compression hissing out of the intake valve. You know, telling me the valve's hanging open. It's got way too much preload. So I'm going to have to check my push rod length and go from there. I mean, I've had several of these engines, so who knows, I might have put the wrong push rods back in it and they were off just a little bit. So I'm going to have to dig through my hundreds of push rods I got laying around and get the correct length. So there we go.